channel. My name is Emily Wilson. If you don't know me already, I am a graphic designer who is passionate about branding and layout design and creating beautiful, effective design solutions. Today we are going to be looking at a glimpse into my creative process for developing the branding identity for my husband's company, T.R.E. Woodworking. This is a really fun challenge for me as it is going to be more of a masculine brand identity, whereas I am used to more feminine brands. And so I'm really excited to take this challenge on. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it does work out the way that I have envisioned in my head. And let's go ahead and get started into this brand identity. So the first thing that I do on any branding project is I do find 2 to 3 different typefaces that I like that I feel like are going to fit with the brand identity, and then I choose my top choice of those typefaces. So that is what I am doing here. I have 3 typefaces chosen. I'm not super fond of the first. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. I like both of these. I think I'm going to go with both of them, but I'm going to start out with the first typeface because I think it's my favorite. I'm going to start by adding in some negative space within this R here because I have an idea of including a hammerhead within the R, sort of as an icon mark. So I did go ahead and find a illustration of a hammer, and I'm going in and I'm tracing it right now. I'm not very good at drawing from memory, so I do typically find icons online, and then I go in and I manipulate them so they do become my own icon. I'm curving all of the edges here just so this icon does become really smooth. I'm filling it and I'm rotating it because I'm going to push it up into the center of that R where we added the negative space in. But there's not quite enough negative space, so I am going to add some between the R and where the hammer starts. That looks really good. I'm not sure what I want to do with the dots yet, so I'm just going to move those out of the way for now. I'm adding an offset to my type so that I can then go in and use my shape builder tool to remove portions of the type so that it's not blended in with one another. We can differentiate each of the letters. Using my smooth tool to really smooth out my custom type. I grab my pencil tool, removing some of those lines. Okay, so this T, I'm not feeling the T. Something's off about it. Let's see what I can do. I'm trying to manipulate it some, but it's just still not working. It feels like dog ears for some reason is what it's kind of representing. And this isn't a dog ear brand. This is a woodworking brand. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with this T, but let's keep manipulating my letters. It's not feeling right. I'm not going with it. So let's go ahead and grab that second typeface that I had chosen at the beginning. We're going to just do the same process. I'm going to put that hammer back into the R, moving those dots out. This looks a lot better, so I'm going to go ahead and try a stacked version of it as well. I do like to try different variations of my logo just so that I make sure that I am choosing the correct direction that I'm going with the logo development. I like this stacked. I'm using my shape builder tool here, which is Shift M, after I offsetted to get rid of that negative space or add the negative space. I'm adding in the dots now because I'm pretty happy with where my type is at. I don't like the dots at the bottom though. They look pretty good in the center, and it gives me an idea of something else that I could do within that R. I think I'm going to add an offset here again. I'm going to use my shape builder tool once more to remove the white portions of the type so that it really just creates this cohesive letter forms. Grabbing my pencil tool and I'm adjusting the T so that it fits in well with the R. Okay, now for that idea. So I have an idea of using a saw blade within the R. So it's going to kind of cut into the R, and let's place it in here. Oh, and the dot, that T dot R, it's actually working as the center of that saw blade. This is working so well. It's working better than what I had thought. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, so I love it. Let's go ahead and add another artboard. Shift O, I'm going to just copy it over. I like to compare kind of my top 3 options of logos that I have created. That's what I'm doing here. I'm going to add in my second portion of the logo, which is going to be the type word woodworking. Putting it in there, I'm going to center it. I'm going to put that under each of my main T.R.E. logo creations. I'm not a fan of the second one. I'm definitely not going to go with that, but I like the stacked version. I think I like the saw the most though, so I'm going to go with the saw. I'm going to go with the saw version. I have this color palette here that I did find from Pinterest, and I'm going to go in and eyedrop each of the colors So I have my green, I'm gonna do a gray, a brown, and then a tan. I'm not really a fan of this green here. It doesn't feel masculine enough to me, so I am gonna just go through and eye drop some of these lifestyle images. They're all coming out to blue, so I'm gonna change it over to green. I like that better, but I wanna go a little bit deeper. There we go. I like that a lot. It feels really masculine, really high contrasting as well. So let's go ahead and grab that Shift M, that shape builder tool. We're gonna remove all the white portions of this logo because those are the spots that we want the negative space to be in so that we can have that transparent within the icon. And I'm gonna group it, so I Control-Shift-O to outline my text, and then I Control-G to group it. I'm gonna place it on this color palette to make sure that it works well. It's working good so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and move over to icon creation for this. I did just grab that same hammerhead that we used within the R, and I added a handle to it. And now I am taking that icon that I created and putting it into a pattern. So I'm adjusting the sizing and the location of these hammers within here. I'm going a little bit smaller. I'm gonna adjust the rotation of the saw blades so that we create a really seamless pattern. Adjusting my placement. The rotation isn't quite working. There we go. That looks really good. I like that a lot. So let's go ahead and copy that artboard, and I'm going to put this swatch on here, and it looks great. This pattern worked out so well. I did already create a Adobe library with all of the colors that I created for this brand identity. I'm now going to take this pattern that I developed and put it into every single color of the brand. You don't always have to do that with every brand, but with this one, it did just make sense to have the pattern available in all colors. So we have green, gray, brown, and tan. I'm gonna put a colored background behind each of those pattern colors. I'm not 100% sold on keeping it in white all the time, so I do wanna have the option of putting in all of the brand colors. But white can be an option when needed. I like that. I like it a lot. This branding turned out really good. Thank you for sticking through to the end of this video with me. I hope that you did enjoy getting a glimpse into the creative process for the development of the T.R.E. Woodworking brand identity. Make sure that you do give my husband a like and a follow on all of his social medias as well, T.R.E. Woodworking on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Without further ado, let me introduce you to the new brand identity for T.R.E. Woodworking. Well, there you have it. There was T.R.E. Woodworking. I really enjoyed giving you a glimpse into this process. If you did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe to my channel, as it does help to support me on this journey. I also would love to hear everybody's feedback and critiques on the overall brand identity developed for this project. It does help me to grow as a graphic designer to hear everybody's feedback, so if you could drop those in the comments as well, I would really appreciate it. Thank you again for joining me today. I will see you all over in the next video where we are going to take a glimpse into the branding proposal sent over to an actual client. Bye!